Cody Ross. Today, a coalition of 22 states led by Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen filed a petition requesting the Biden administration withdraw its vaccine mandate for healthcare workers. It stated the mandate violated the rights of healthcare workers and worsened staffing shortages, especially in rural and frontier states like Montana. What's on the agenda for Montana's newly re-elected Congressman Matt Rosendale in the next session?
My first choice would be to make sure that we remove any of the vax mandates from our military so that we can get our reserves back up. The recruitment efforts have been down by anywhere from 25 to 40%, depending upon which branch of the military that you're looking at. We lost in the neighborhood of 60,000 reservists because of those vax mandates as well. So my first effort would be to get the vax mandates removed. The president himself has even said that we are no longer in a pandemic.
This is the Northern News Network.
There's never been a better time to quit commercial tobacco in Montana. Whether you smoke, vape, or chew, the Montana Tobacco Quit Line has new tools to help you quit your way. Get free coaching via online chat and free patches, gum, or lozenges too. Plus, Montanans under 25 can text to quit. Just text START to 36072. Visit quitnowmontana.com or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW and quit your way. Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services.
In ag, family is more than just family. They're a support system and the hardest workers in your operation. You know them better than anyone else, and you can tell when something just isn't right. Maybe it's more time alone in the tractor or less talk around the dinner table. If you notice a change, it's important to talk about it. Make mental health a priority in your family and show them that they're not alone. For resources and free counseling access for Montana Ag, visit beyondtheweather.com.
The Montana Hospital Association has confirmed that Rich Rasmussen is no longer its president and CEO. The Board of Trustees made the announcement. It was effective last Friday, according to spokesperson Ms. Peterson. The MDA board is working to find an interim CEO, as board vice chair Craig Osbed will be the interim president and CEO for the next 2 weeks. Young cattle rancher Mark Boyd from Alder won the Montana Farm Bureau Young Farmer and Rancher discussion at the 103rd Annual MFB Convention in Missoula. He got a Polaris Ranger and gets to head to the national competition in Puerto Rico. Choto ranchers Ben and Carly Johnson won the Achievement Award for their farming operation growth and financial progress of operation. The Flathead Valley Community College Foundation hosted its final Festival of Flavors earlier this month, and the Grand Wine Tasting Fundraiser raised more than $250,000 for student scholarships at the college. I'm Cody Ross, Northern News Network.
All right, for those of you who are news junkies, how often have you heard a promo that sounds something like this? The news as it happens. The news as it breaks. Well, with Montana Talks, we're the show where you get to react to the news as it happens. You get to react to the news as it breaks, and you get to be heard all across Montana. Plus, you'll get to hear what other folks across the state have to say. Catch Montana Talks from 9 to 10 right here on KXGN 1400 AM and 103.1 FM.
Bitter cold wind chills highlight the weather heading into the overnight. I'm meteorologist Ed McIntosh with a regional look at what's happening with your weather across Montana, northern Wyoming, and the western Dakotas. Last night it was all about slippery conditions. We still have some wind that's causing some blowing in areas of southeast Montana, extreme eastern Wyoming, and the western portions of the Dakotas. But it's going to be the overnight wind chills that will be the big story. Many of the readings will feel like the teens to 20s below zero, and that'll be true anywhere from around Havre, extending all the way over into northwest North Dakota, around Great Falls, Helena area, extending down to around Butte, Bozeman, Dillon, Anaconda, Deer Lodge areas, the eastern plains of Montana from Forsyth over towards Miles City, all under wind chill advisories for tonight. Tomorrow, we'll start off with readings in the single digits and teens with those additional wind chills. Temperatures will start to move up, but with some wind east of the divide. More on that next.
1 million acres. That's exactly how much land we'll need eventually to grow sustainable oils camelina, the feedstock of choice for renewable diesel production. And Montana farmers like you can play a big role in meeting this demand. We have a multi-year agreement with ExxonMobil to purchase our renewable diesel. While other crops have struggled during recent droughts, our camelina has stood tough with very little rainfall and done well at harvest. If you're new to growing sustainable oils camelina and get a certified stand, we'll pay you $350 per acre. Returning growers can expect a competitive price at harvest and even more per pound for larger acreages. Here's a bonus. Partner with us and we'll provide the camelina seed at no cost. Learn more about how sustainable oils camelina could boost profitability on your farm at susoils.com. That's susoils.com.
Wind chills will be the big story overnight heading into tomorrow, and even though we got a little bit of a warm-up for the afternoon, it's going to come with wind coming down the east slopes of the Rockies for Friday and Saturday, so it's going to feel cold, even though the temperatures are starting to edge up a bit. So while we start off single digits above and below zero, areas like Butte could actually be in the teens below zero first thing Friday morning. The afternoon readings will be mainly into the teens in southwest Montana, Butte, Dillon, Anaconda, Deer Lodge, some teens around Cody towards Warland in northern Wyoming and around Yellowstone National Park, and then the 20s to 30s pretty much everywhere else across the northern half of Montana, extending into North Dakota, southeastern Montana, extending into South Dakota. Despite that, it'll feel cold thanks to those winds picking up and keeping those wind chill values down. As we get into Saturday, again, we're going to be looking at wind. Temperatures do try to edge up, a lot more 20s and 30s. I'm Ed McIntosh with your regional weather update.
Thanksgiving will be here soon, and I can't wait to spend the day with family and friends just catching up, playing games, and settling in for a big turkey dinner. This may sound weird, but my favorite part of a big turkey dinner is the gravy. I pour it on the turkey, potatoes, stuffing, and there's always plenty of Village Heart dinner rolls to help soak up every drop. And whether you prefer classic white or wheat, 12 grain or sweet Hawaiian, a basket of warm Village Heart dinner rolls is the natural choice for Thanksgiving dinner.
Ho, 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 ho! Auto Value has once again teamed up with Toys for Tots to help deliver hope to less fortunate children this Christmas. Now through December 15th, you can drop off a new unwrapped toy or cash donation at any participating Auto Value Pod store. Your toy or cash donation will not only help Santa, but also allow one more child to experience the magic of Christmas. On behalf of everyone at Auto Value and the North Pole, we thank you. Ho, ho, ho!
This is Rocky Erickson with a special edition of Montana Sports. It's a series that started way back in 1897. It's also one of the oldest college football rivalries in the nation. Today we call it the Brawl of the Wild. I'm often asked what I think is the most exciting game ever played in this famous rivalry. That I'm not sure of. But I do know what game was the most significant. That was the game that was played in 1941. On the cover of the program that day was not a photo of a player, but a photo of a soldier. You see, everyone knew that our nation was about to go to war. In the first quarter of that 41 game, the Bobcats' Bill Zupan would score. It was the first time in 9 years that the Cats had scored in the series. But the Grizz would come back behind the heroics of Butte's Iso Naranchi. Naranchi would have 2 touchdowns in the second half and lead his team to their 9th straight win over the Bobcats. 43 days following that game, the Japanese would bomb Pearl Harbor. Our country would go to war. 2 years later, the famed Iso Naranchi would lose his life fighting in World War II. Shortly after that, Butte High School would rename their football complex Naranchi Stadium. Sadly, 5 of the 11 young men who started for the Grizzlies during that 41 game gave their life for our country during that war. But for the Bobcats, their sacrifice was much worse, as 10 of the 11 young men who started in that 41 game did not return home. The rivalry resumed in 1946 with another Montana victory. But in 1947, the Bobcats would snap a 10-game losing streak with a 13-12 win, leading the Cats in that historic victory was Bill Zupan. You see, Bill Zupan was the only surviving starter from that 1941 game. Don't wait until Veterans Day to thank a veteran. Thank them each and every day. Every morning before school, she worked on her game, dreaming to one day lead her team to a state basketball championship. She also wanted to dress like her heroes. The shoes she wore, the shorts, everything came from Universal Athletic. On game day, her uniform was from Universal, plus the game ball and even the ref's whistle. When your team needs new gear, it's all at universalathletic.com. One team, one mission.
We asked Montana farmer Walt Sales about the challenges of mental health in agriculture.
Another drought. There always is. There's always going to be another something. I grew up in a generation of you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. But it's become evident is what do you do if you can't even find those bootstraps? If you need to talk to somebody, go to beyondtheweather.com for free counseling for Montana ag producers.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll talk about the 5 high school football state championship games that'll be played. I'll be in Lewistown with the call of the Fergus Billings Central game. This is Rocky Erickson.
Local jobs, local service, local community dedication. When you choose Ford, you're choosing local. That's your Northwest Ford dealers. We're in your town, serving you, your friends, and your neighbors, just like we have for over 100 years. So when you need a new truck or SUV, keep it local and come see us. When you need an oil change or multi-point inspection, we're right down the road and happy to help. And when you want accessories to trick out your Ford, like a bike rack or bed liner, you don't have to go far to get what you need. Not everyone can say they're part of the local fabric, but your Northwest Ford dealers can. Whether you're in Fairbanks, Alaska, Great Falls, Montana, Coos Bay, Oregon, Yakima, Washington, or anywhere in between, we're keeping you on the road, and we're keeping it local. We're your Northwest Ford dealers. Stop by today or visit buyfordnow.com.
Good afternoon, Coulter Brown here on the Northern Ag Network with today's top ag headlines coming to you from the National Association of Farm Broadcasting Convention in Kansas City. Here at the convention, I spoke with USDA Undersecretary for Farm Production and Conservation Robert Bonney and asked him about the steps USDA has taken over the last year to help farmers and ranchers survive difficult drought conditions.
We're trying to do the blocking and tackling of our traditional programs to help producers. We've also got additional resources through ERP, and we've tried to get that out as efficiently as we can. We'll be quickly coming at folks with phase 2. And then we're looking, are there ways we can partner with producers using NRCS dollars to help them be more resilient in the face of drought? So we want to be as creative as we can and be as responsive to folks out in the countryside as we can.
Well, wheat prices continue to experience all kinds of volatility with the impacts from drought, tight supplies, and the war in Ukraine. Ryan Gelbrands from CHS Hedging told me he expects prices to stay volatile for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, extremely volatile. I don't see a resolution at this point between the Ukraine and Russia. They just did agree on an extension to the grain export Black Sea Agreement. You know, we're trading headlines. I think that the wheat market and corn market are going to be highly influenced by what's going on in the Black Sea. Watching what's going on in South America, I know that Argentina had some issues with dryness. We'll keep an eye on that.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more ag news after this.
Local jobs, local service, local community dedication. When you choose Ford, you're choosing local. That's your Northwest Ford dealers. We're in your town, serving you, your friends, and your neighbors, just like we have for over 100 years. Not everyone can say they're part of the local fabric, but your Northwest Ford dealers can. We're keeping you on the road, and we're keeping it local. Stop by today or visit buyfordnow.com.
Hello, this is Garrett Ham, a board member of the Park County Farm Bureau and a Shields Valley rancher. Did you know that the Montana Farm Bureau offers a wide range of membership benefits? One of these is with LandTrust.com. I've signed up with LandTrust.com to host folks looking for outdoor recreation opportunities like hunting and fishing, and I found it provides a good additional income stream for our ranch while keeping me 100% in control. Find out more at mfbf.org/benefits. Montana Farm Bureau. We care for the country.
The Montana Wheat and Barley Committee has selected their next executive vice president. Communications Director Jason Laird has been serving as interim executive, but Jason said they're excited to welcome a new executive on board.
I'm excited to announce we finally got a new executive vice president of the Montana Wheat and Barley Committee. Kent Kuffner is going to be starting with us. He's got a ton of grain industry knowledge. He's been in the business for a long, long time. Going to be based out of Great Falls, out of our main office. So we can't say how excited we are to have somebody with that kind of industry knowledge coming to join our team.
I'm Coulter Brown, Northern Ag Network.
Are your retirement accounts going to be ready when you come talk to us at your credit union? We're not for profit and member owned. Your investments may just do better with us. So retire those retirement worries. Glen IBM Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Everything we do for you.
Calling all motivated leaders in the 406. Make an impact and become a positive role model to Montana youth. Join the team at Montana Youth Challenge Academy. Share in our mission of providing academic, professional, and life coping skills that students need for success. Full or part-time positions are available. Enjoy competitive compensation and benefits. The day-to-day asks a lot, but it also has a lot to give. Apply online at statecareers.mt.gov.
Brought to you by Montana Youth Challenge Academy and this station.
Hello everyone, Brett McRae here with your market news summary on the Northern Ag Network. Strong performance from the cattle market Thursday with lots of buying interest from commodity traders. Additionally, the lean hog complex was supported by a higher export report this morning. January feeders up $2.50 at $179.97. March up $2.25 at $182.50. December live cattle up 95 cents at $152.75. February up $1.15 at $155.40. And at Kiss Livestock in Mandan, light 5-weight steers went from 202 to 210, light 6 weights from 188 to 196, heavy 4-weight heifers from 192 to 200, 5-weight terminal females from 179 to 187. Looking at the weigh-up market at the public auction yards in Billings, average dressing cows returning to feed from $69.50 to $79 per hundredweight, young open stock cows averaging 106.21.
1 million acres. That's exactly how much land we'll need eventually to grow sustainable oils camelina. And Montana farmers like you can play a big role in meeting this demand. The need for renewable diesel production is growing fast, and sustainable oils camelina is the feedstock crop of choice. While other crops have struggled during recent droughts, sustainable oils camelina has stood tough with very little rainfall and done well at harvest. If you're new to growing sustainable oils camelina and get a certified stand, we'll pay you $350 per acre. Returning growers can expect a competitive price at harvest and even more per pound for larger acreages. Here's a bonus. Partner with us and we'll provide the planting seed at no cost. Learn more about how sustainable oils camelina could boost profitability on your farm at susoils.com. That's susoils.com.
And grain markets were all under pressure early Thursday with the predicted news that the Ukraine grain export corridor will remain open for 4 months. However, corn by the end of the session had recovered on news of new export sales. KC winter wheat down 17.5 in December at $9.38. March down 17 cents at $9.29. Minneapolis spring wheat down 11 3/4 in December at $9.53. March down 12 1/4 at $9.62. Chicago soft red wheat down 10 3/4 in December at $8.06. March down 12 1/4 at $8.25. December corn up 2 1/4 at $6.67. March up 1 1/2 at $6.69. January soybeans down 12 1/4 at $14.17. March down 12 1/2 at $14.22. And at the end of business today, cash grain bids in Portland for 12 Pro winter wheat were up 17 cents from $10.54 to $10.83. Soft white wheat steady to 5 cents less from $8.90 to $9.25. 14 Pro spring wheat down 11 cents from $10.33 to $10.53. I'm Brett McRae.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. Boosters designed for COVID-19 variants are now available. If you've had your primary series, schedule an by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Meet Joe A, Joe B,
hello,
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect and support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Earl here, Shadow of the Rockies. I'm going to pass along some details that became available right about a week ago from the Billings area in regards to those that hunted in the south central part of Montana over the third weekend of the season were met with high winds and temperatures averaging in the 30s. A total of 516 big game hunters visited check stations in Big Timber, Columbus, Lavina, and Billings over the third weekend. On Saturday, winds in the Columbus area exceeded 50 miles per hour, and hunter numbers reflected those poor conditions. The Columbus check station had the second lowest number of hunters ever recorded for the week 3. Big Timber and Billings, on the other hand, saw numbers that were equal to or just above the yearly average. Lavina was the busiest check station in the region over the weekend, that is, with a record 178 hunters, and with hunter numbers down in some areas, success rates were higher than the long-term averages across the region. A bit more detail for you right after this.
At American National, what's important to you is important to us. Don't you deserve an insurance plan custom fit to meet your specific needs? American National offers flexible farm and ranch policies with customizable package options to help protect your livestock. We are right by your side, ready to help protect what matters most to you. For more information and to connect with a local American National agent, just visit an.insure/Northwest. American National Property and Casualty Company and Affiliates, Springfield, Missouri.
Hey, are you looking for a great place to stay when you're headed to Billings, Montana? Stay at the Boot Hill Inn and Suites in Billings Heights. Telephone number 406-245-2000. Seriously, whether you're driving a semi-truck, a pickup and a horse trailer, or your family car, the Boot Hill Inn has easy accessible parking, a hot complimentary breakfast, and free internet. Stay at the Boot Hill Inn and Suites, 406-245-2000.
Check stations will be open on Sundays in Big Timber and Lavina, they say, and Billings until the final weekend of the general season, when the stations will operate on both Saturday and Sunday. The Columbus check station will be open Saturday and Sunday every weekend of the general season, and the final day of the general season is November 27th of this year. Hunting regulations for the deer, elk, and antelope are available, of course, at the Region 5 headquarters in Billings or online at the Fish and Wildlife Parks website, of course. This is the Northern Sports Network.
Come on, we're going to be late to the cookout. I was just packing up my favorite snack and cheese. I hope you packed the Pepto, too. Pepto Bismol provides fast relief from heartburn and indigestion. You know, that uncomfortable feeling after you eat too much, and after the deviled eggs, baked beans, and barbecue ribs. You're going to need it. I should probably get an extra short time. Good God. When you have passion, just choose.
This message is directed to battle future children.
When choosing a wireless provider, you're the first to compromise. Then when you moved, what if you get reliable service without a contract and save money? Introducing Total by Verizon. The new Total contract, no coverage carrier for your advantage. With plans starting at just $30 a month on America's most reliable 5G network. Total by Verizon is available at TotalByVerizon.com and at Walmart. Based on first place rankings and RootMetrics first half 2022 5G assessments of 125 intros. Experiences may vary, not endorsement.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com.
On this day in 2004, two struggling retail giants announced a merger. Kmart said it was buying Sears, Roebuck & Company for $11 billion. In the end, it was a gamble that didn't pay off. Boomers will be right back.
Boomers is brought to you by the Carbon County Arts Guild and Depot Gallery in Red Lodge, inviting you to find unique holiday gifts created by regional artists. Shop in person Thursday through Monday at 11 West 8th Street or online at CarbonCountyDepotGallery.org. And by Cape Air. Traveling in eastern Montana? Grab a daily year-round flight between Billings, Sydney, Glendive, Glasgow, Havre, and Wolf Point. Flights start at just $29 each way. Leave the car in the garage and save time and money with Cape Air.
By 2019, the merger that created the new Sears Holdings Corporation was in serious trouble. The company announced it was seeking bankruptcy. Former Sears Canada CEO Mark Cohen said the Kmart-Sears merger was a non-starter from the get-go.
There never was a strategy that would ever have been viable given the way Lampert chose to run the business from day one. And I've been saying that literally for all that time. This is an apocryphal outcome that just had to happen. And the notion that there's been some turnaround or some transformation in place is just plain bogus.
Between the two, there have been 3,500 store closures and 250,000 jobs eliminated. Boomers is back to now.
Boomers is brought to you by Beartooth Billings Clinic, inviting you to explore all the beautiful Red Lodge, Montana has to offer. Shopping, dining, live music, art galleries, hiking, and exploring the majestic Beartooth Mountains. Red Lodge is open and awaiting your visit.
The more you realize it's all in the music. KXGN 1400, the amazing AM.
The dawn is breaking, a light shining through. You're barely waking, entangled up in you. I'm open, you're closed, but I follow you go. I worry I won't see your face.
KXGN 1400, the amazing AM.
Ontario Canada 33, Evelyn O'Connor. Also stepping in for on the Utah, number 35, Jackson.
Satisfied.
from Fire Montana number 3, Karina Flatland.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash, powered by the Score app on Amazing AM 1400. I'm John Thayer. Avalanche are back on the ice tonight. They're in Raleigh, North Carolina. They play the Carolina Hurricanes. The Avalanche are 8-5-1. Colorado coming off of a loss the last time out that snapped a 4-game win streak. The Denver Broncos are back home on Sunday as they play host to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 2-7 on the season, while the Broncos are 3-6. The Nuggets fell short at home last night against the New York Knicks, 106-103 in the losing effort. Jamal Murray had 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Nuggets. Denver is now 9-5. The Nuggets are back in action tomorrow in Dallas against the Mavericks. For lightning fast sports updates as they happen, download the free Score app today. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by the Score app on Amazing AM 1400.
Shop JCPenney for thousands of deals solo, no coupons needed. This weekend, save up to 50% on kitchen electrics from brands like Keurig and Cuisinart. Say yes, please, to diamonds and gemstones, now $19.99 each. And bundle up the fam and coats, starting at $14.99. We got your holiday. Offers valid on select items 11/18 through 11/20. Excluded from coupons. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Your bills are due on the 13th, but you don't get paid until the 15th. Sound familiar? Life doesn't always wait for payday. Get the NetSpend All Access account for your everyday mobile banking needs and get paid up to 2 days faster with direct deposit. Get started today at netspend.com and go beyond banking. Banking services provided by an account established by Pathward Online Member FDIC. Faster access based on comparison of our ACH processing policy versus posting funds and settlement. Deposit account opening is subject to registration and verification. Terms and costs apply.
This is by the way. You know, I'm always a bit amazed at how excited people can become when they have a chance to see in person a performer or a well-known personality, a high point in their lives. Interestingly, there was a well-known person in history that people went out of their way to see and perhaps even touch. But it had nothing to do with fame and fortune. He talked about love and life. Some who were able to touch him were healed. What he offered to people on the dusty roads of Palestine, he offers to us today. Hope, healing, and changed lives. This is By the Way.
Today's devotion brought to you by Leonard and Betty Roll and your friends at Our Savior Lutheran Church.
HKT Big Sky Motors shows up on game day. This is Rocky Erickson for HKT. I'm impressed with their commitment. They understand teamwork and suit up with a very impressive roster of their own. Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. A commitment to excellence, locally owned and operated in service to the Big Sky. HKT, Car sales, service, and repair in Glendyne. Show them your support.
Marriage is everywhere at risk because of one of the most powerful drugs known to man. It's called infatuation. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. Maybe you don't think of infatuation as a drug, but Dave Carter has spent the past 30 years studying the causes of infidelity. He says infatuation is as powerful as any substance out there. Do you think that's overstated? Well, if you've ever known someone who walked away from their family for an affair, you probably asked yourself, what were they thinking? And that's the point. They weren't thinking. People consumed by infatuation do crazy things. They behave as if they're literally under the influence of a mind-altering substance. And to Dave Carter's point, they are. Infatuated people are drunk with emotion. They don't make rational decisions or care how their choices impact everyone else. Infatuation is especially dangerous because it can develop before anyone realizes it's happening. Associating with coworkers, neighbors, and family friends is appropriate in the typical sense, but when two people who aren't married to each other together day after day, infatuation is a real possibility. And that's why, to protect yourself, you have to stay on your toes. Tomorrow, I'll share some things to look for that many people miss until it's too late. In the meantime, help your marriage thrive by visiting FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Hello?
Hey, stranger.
Oh, hi. Thank goodness it's you. I was afraid to answer the phone.
Why? What's up?
The credit card companies are after me. They want me to make payments, and the calls never stop.
Ouch. Been there before, but I got help from Trinity Debt Management.
Trinity?
Yeah, I called, and right away, Trinity contacted my creditors and got my interest rates cut in half. They ended all the late fees and over-limit charges, and they stopped those annoying phone calls.
Bet that was a relief.
Yep. Then they put me on a plan that consolidated my bills into one easy monthly payment. That way, I paid off my debt fast while saving thousands.
Nice.
Trinity even showed me how to plan and meet a monthly budget. So now I'm debt-free for keeps.
Wow. Do you still have their number?
Sure. Here, write this down and call 1-800-990-6976.
Can you repeat that?
1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Cause your eyes, they light the night, they look right through me. La 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 la. You bashful, you're hiding something sweet. Please give it to me. To me. Oh, talk to me some more. You don't have to go. You're the poetry man. You make things alright. You are a genius. All I ask for is your smile each time. La 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 la. When I am with you, I have a giggling teenage crush that now a sultry ram, yeah, a sultry ram. somewhere you go each day to see your wife, yeah, to see your wife. Talk to me so long. I know that you don't have to go. You're the poetry man. You make things alright.
What's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty. Yes, you do. Times Square and shine as bright as you. I swear it's true. Hey there, Delilah, don't you worry about the distance. I'm right there. If you get lonely, give this song another listen. Close your eyes. Listen to my voice, that's my disguise. I'm by your side. Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, it's what you do to me. What you do to me. Hey there, girl. I know times are getting hard, but just believe me, girl, someday I'll pay the bills with this guitar. We'll have it good. We'll have the life we knew we would. My word is good. Hey there, Delilah, I've got so much left to say. If every simple song I wrote to you would take your breath away, I'd write it out. Even more in love with you, you will fall. We have it all. Oh, it's what you do to me. 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 1,000 miles seems pretty far, but they've got planes and trains and cars. I'd walk to you if I had no other way. Our friends would all make fun of us, and we'll just laugh along because we know that none of them have felt this way. Delilah, I can promise you by the time we get through, the world will never ever be the same in your place. Hey there, Delilah, you'll be good. Don't you miss me? 2 more years and we'll be done with school, and I'll be making history like I do. You know it's all because of you. We can do whatever we want to. We can do whatever's true. This one's for you.
Fox News. The top leaders in the House have announced they will not seek similar roles in the next Congress.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and longtime Lieutenant Steny Hoyer both announcing they will step down from leadership positions. Pelosi quoted Ecclesiastes, "For everything there is a season."
There is no greater official honor for me than to stand on this floor and to speak for the people of San Francisco.
Pelosi and House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer led House Democrats for 2 decades. They have a rivalry which dates back to when they interned together in the same Senate office in the 1960s. But both will remain in Congress as rank-and-file members.
Fox's Chad Pergram, the third in line in the House, James Clyburn, has also also said he will step away from leadership. Lawyer and Clyburn are endorsing Hakeem Jeffries of New York for minority leader. Autopsies performed on 4 University of Idaho students who were found dead inside a rental house near campus showed that all 4 were stabbed to death. No arrests have been made. Police say 2 other people that were in the home were not harmed. Months after the massacre at a Texas elementary school, another top official involved in the police response steps down.
On the day that 19 children and 2 teachers were gunned down in Uvalde, Texas, the city's police chief was out of town. So Police Lieutenant Mariano Pargas was serving as acting chief. The department, part of a multi-agency response that remains under investigation amid questions about how many children might have been saved if law enforcement hadn't waited more than an hour to confront the gunman. Pargas was put on administrative leave in July. Now the city says he's voluntarily leaving the job.
Fox's Lisa Brady. He's the second leader to leave since the May shooting, when hundreds of officers waiting more than an hour to confront the gunman at Bond Elementary School. America is listening to Fox News.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
A man in Oklahoma is put to death for killing a child nearly 3 decades ago.
Richard Fairchild died by lethal injection Thursday morning. He was convicted in the 1993 death of his then-girlfriend's 3-year-old son, Adam Broomhall. The child's uncle said justice had finally arrived. Fairchild's lawyer failed to get stays granted in Oklahoma and from the U.S. Supreme Court. Residents who oppose execution say Republican Governor Kevin Stitt should end the practice.
I would like him to be consistent in his idea of pro-life.
23 more executions scheduled in the next 26 months. This is becoming a grim ritual.
They believe all death sentences should be changed to life in prison without parole. Renald Scott, Fox News.
Workers at more than 100 Starbucks in the U.S. are on strike. It's the company's largest labor action since a campaign to unionize Starbucks began late last year. Starbucks opposes the unionization effort. It has more than 9,000 company-owned stores in the U.S. Yale and Harvard opting out of U.S. News and World Report rankings of their law school.
For years, colleges and universities have been critical of the U.S. News and World Report ranking system, claiming it's not reliable. But still, they continued handing over their data for review. Now, in 2 separate letters posted on their websites, the deans of both Harvard and Yale law schools are blasting the way the publication pieces together its list, claiming the one-size-fits-all metrics devalue the school's efforts to recruit poor and working-class students and provide financial aid based on need. U.S. News responding to Yale, saying it stands by its mission to ensure that law schools are held accountable for the education they provide. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Wimbledon relaxing its requirement for all-white clothing to allow female players to wear colored undershorts. The All England club says it's decided to change their strict policy after meeting with the WTA. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Proud to live and work in the Gate City. KXGN Glendive, Montana. The amazing AM. KXGN 1400. The amazing AM.
A wind chill advisory continues until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Lows dip down to about 6 below. Tonight, under mainly cloudy skies, westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Overcast skies tomorrow, high of 22. Cloudy tomorrow night, 5 above. Mainly sunny Saturday with a high of 25. 32 Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on 1400 AM and 103.1 FM KXGN. Currently, it's 9 above.
Queens on the throne, pop champagne and raise their toast.
56 points. O'Kyle back in. Timeout, Teton. Volleyball girls coming around with the 50-50 tickets. We'll draw halftime of the men's game. Violation coming in ball. 4.7 seconds left in the half. Would the Buccaneer men's basketball team come to half court, please? Y'all remember when the girls did the softball dance at halftime? Guess what? We'd like to take a minute to present the trophy to you for winning the Buster Gillis Mondat Conference Tip-Off Tournament in Newtown, North Dakota. The Buccaneers went 3-0 the weekend, defeating Dakota College 74-68, Lake Region 85-71, and United Tribes in the championship game 91-84. The tournament, go ahead, give me a hand. The tournament MVP, this is Joe Empoyo. Congratulations to Joe and the entire Buccaneers basketball program. Pictures. Hold up for a picture, boys. Just stand right there. Concession stand is open. We have a new vendor this year. It's got a lot of wonderful new products out there. Check it out. It's supper, dinner, whatever.
last one to know, the last one to show, the last one you thought you'd see there. The ice cold night, and the fear inside, when I leave this glass of champagne. I toast again, said I'm sweet baby girl, you'll never hear me complain.
Second half, tie game at 23. Let's make some noise for the Deer Bags. Here we go. O'Kyle back in. 2-point basket, Navarre. Burton checking back here. in. Timeout, media, 1 minute. First back in. Haley Brandon, 2 points. Two-point basket, good time. Fourth quarter, Decon Queen 35-34. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take a moment to honor a couple of our cross-country folks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet Coach Alex Chase, Connor Chase, and Evelyn Hockman-Gatchett. Evelyn and Connor represented DCC at the NJCAA National Cross Country Meet in Florida last Saturday. Connor raced in the top 50% of over 250 runners in the 8K race and moved up 30 places during the race. Evelyn finished 3rd place at Nationals. Let's give it up! Good job, good job. Coach Chase, Connor Moore, cross-country programs representing Dawson on the national stage. We're all very proud of you guys. Aaron with foul. The third, team 4. Ryan Jacobs checking back in. Severa back in. Ball plus. Ohio back in. ball, 2 down. Junkyard shot. $5 bucket. Timeout, Dawson, 30 seconds. Timeout, Dawson. That's the line. Overtime, free basketball. 2-point basket, Utah. Back in. Timeout, 1 minute. Where my Cowboys at? Timeout, T-Zone. 30 seconds. Timeout, Pecan. Show him out, Bucky. Timeout, Buccaneers. Buccaneers going to win 60-54, remain undefeated. Get the floor clear, put 20 on the clock. Get the boys warmed up with the men's cocktail.